Every day at Sierra, you'll find top brand apparel, footwear, and gear for 20 to 60% less than department and specialty store prices. And during clearance time at Sierra, those incredible prices are 40 divided by 2.5, carry the 1, even lower. And when you shop clearance at Sierra, you can save a whole lot more on everything you need to get active and outside. That's a lot of saving. Epic brands, vast selection, teeny tiny prices. That's Sierra. Visit your local Sierra store today or shop online at Sierra.com.
We work hard to strike the right amount of intelligence and ignorance. The Last Show with David Cooper.
Around the nuclear disaster site, Chernobyl, which I'm sure I'm saying wrong, there is a 19-mile, 20, 30 kilometer some odd exclusion zone that radioactive activity levels are so high you'd think nothing lives there. But in fact, things do, including dogs. It is Vet Talk. It is Pet Talk. Dr. Cliff Redford is here. He's a veterinarian, definitely, 100%.
100%.
Accredited, treats animals.
100,000,000%.
And we are going to talk like the wild world of the dogs in Chernobyl that, at least on the surface, seem to be thriving. Cliff, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you. This doctor from Oregon, Dr. Jennifer Betts, is my new hero. Yeah, so 40 years ago. Were you alive 40 years ago?
No, I'm turning 40 in June.
Oh, you don't look a day older than 39.
I hate you.
Oh, wait, you are. Yeah, 40 years ago, the worst nuclear disaster ever. And yeah, everyone had to scatter. And of course, some of them had to leave their animals behind. That's what happens. And I wouldn't say the dogs there are thriving, because there used to be 1,000 of them, and now there's only 300. But that's on purpose, because Dr. Betts is going in there every year or so and doing spay-neuter campaigns. Because, they're infected with fleas, and they're hungry, and et cetera, et cetera. And there's no way anyone can adopt them because nobody lives there. But this amazing article and story talks about the work that she's doing, and she's trying to find out, are they affected by radiation? What are the damaging effects of low levels of chronic ionized radiation exposure on mammals? So this will help with us as well. And there's even a little bit of dog rescuing going on, but that's a complicated story, which we can save for the end. Yeah, it's absolutely fascinating.
They give tours of the exclusion zone, and the tour guide, or if you're get a permit to go in there and explore, and I think some people do that without a permit illegally. Please be careful, kids. You wear this device called a Geiger counter, because not every area is as radioactive as others. And it cannot always be clear where it is radioactive or not, because the dust might blow with the wind, microscopic particles, this, that, and the other. An area next to the plant that looks like it would kill you in a second could be fine. A patch of trees could be deadly. And so they wear these little devices that tell them how radioactive where they are is. And if they beep off, you got to get out of there. It's dangerous. It's cool. It's horrific. It is a testament to human both ingenuity and incompetence. It is such a weird place, and some of the funguses and trees and plants that are thriving in these environments that have mutated are really cool. Unfortunately, I imagine some of these dogs get cancer.
Well, yeah, so what Dr. Betts has discovered is, again, there used to only be 1,000. There's no animals that are going into the area. They've sort of prevented, and also there's no reason for dogs to go in the area because there's not a lot of food and whatnot. So it's essentially a closed off community, and it has gone down from 1,000 down to 300 because of these spay-neuter programs and whatnot. And what she has discovered is they're not actually getting sick. She is seeing more cancer potentially, but she is quite confident that it's because of inbreeding. It has nothing to do with the radiation. She is seeing dogs with, one limb is a little bit shorter than the other, or one limb's longer than the other. I guess they have 4 limbs.
Wonky dogs.
And again, walking dogs. She thinks that's related to inbreeding. Wonky. She thinks that's related to inbreeding. So low-level radiation exposure in wildlife, there is a lot of research, and typically like mice and rats and birds, they all develop cataracts. But none of these dogs have a higher rate of cataracts. Now, Dr. Betts has developed cataracts. She feels it's from going and visiting and being there regularly, but we don't know. And she's like, I don't care. But the amazing thing is they have found that these dogs haven't really been affected. And she theorizes it's because the two isotopes, what do we got here? Cesium and strontium. They're in the soil, and dogs don't really dig and forage to the same extent as a lot of other wild animals would do. And as long as there's food available for these dogs and people do go and feed them, there's this whole charity talked about dogs. It's called the Dogs of Chernobyl charity. They go and they feed them, and they drop off medication, like, in the little pill pocket thingies for fleas and ticks and whatnot. And even some dogs are getting arthritis medication sort of like delivered to them. So they're getting taken care of. They seemingly are doing great because they don't have to forage. And the ones that they do sort of take in care for a certain disease, they test them for these isotopes. And yes, they're high, they're elevated. They give them a bath and it goes away. So It is literally just on their coat. Now, they don't have the same oil glands that we do, so they probably don't absorb, they don't have sweat glands. They don't absorb it through their skin quite the same way. But it's really quite fascinating. And as I said, she's my new hero, and I gotta go check this place out.
You've gone to war zones, impoverished areas, disaster zones to help animals, but have you ever gone to a nuclear fallout zone to help an animal, Cliff? Let's be honest, you haven't. You're a terrible person.
Only on my VR set when I'm going after zombies, so I feel like I'm prepared.
You mentioned adoption. Is there a possibility for locals to grab a dog out of there and bring it into the home?
Very unlikely. There was a couple of years ago, there were 32 puppies that were adopted out that she essentially rescued and had adopted out. It was a big process. They had to be quarantined for 4 months because rabies is a problem with these dogs. So they're constantly trying to vaccinate, constantly dropping off rabies vaccine baits, like oral vaccines. And the visitors, the tourists, the workers who are still trying to clean up this mess, they're getting attacked by these dogs. So they need to do everything they can to keep these dogs rabies free. And it's a big, expensive process. And she basically admitted that the Ukrainian government allowed them to adopt out these 32 puppies mostly as a PR thing. And this was before the war. They got other things they're worrying about right now. And so she basically said, no, they're basically going to take care of all of these dogs as best they can until eventually they're going to have a natural passing, and then the Chernobyl dog will be extinct.
I've always wanted to go there. There's so many cool, abandoned former Soviet schools and gymnasiums. I mean, the thousands of people, tens of thousands of people left this city, overnight when the disaster happened. And it's like a weird time capsule. And they do give some guided tours, maybe not so much with the war now, but they have. But I could never convince my girlfriend. I can't be like, honey, where are we going on our trip next, honey? Oh, we're going to Chernobyl. I don't think that's going to fly with my girlfriend.
If I go for a rescue mission, you want to come?
I do. Let's do it. We'll do live from Chernobyl. The last show live from Chernobyl. It's so weird.
That's right. The last show. That is a great title. The last show.
Well, the holidays have come and gone once again, but if you've forgotten to get that special someone in your life a gift, well, Mint Mobile is extending their holiday offer of half off unlimited wireless. So here's the idea. You get it now. You call it an early present for next year. What do you have to lose? Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Limited time 50% off regular price for new customers. Upfront payment required. $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, or $180 for 12-month plan. Taxes and fees extra. Speeds may slow after 50 gigabytes per month when network is busy. See terms.
When you think of pharmaceuticals looking for drugs and doing so with animals, you often think rats, okay? Or maybe, I don't know, a little petri dish with a bunch of, cells. You don't think of llamas, and that's what we're going to discuss here with Cliff Redford. Are llamas the secret to new drugs? Is the answer yes or no? It's a simple question, Cliff.
Maybe. Is that an option?
That's a
Well,
great...
they are. Well, they're not going to be a secret anymore because of me talking about it on the last show with David Cooper. I learned so much coming on this show, David. You forced me to do homework, and kids, if you do your homework, you learn lots because I didn't know anything about this. This is absolutely fascinating. So
You groom veterinary journals to find stories for us, Cliff?
yes, and also
Wow.
your producer helps find them for
Oh,
me.
thanks, Danny.
And I didn't know they exist. And yeah,
Cool.
I didn't know about these dogs of Chernobyl from the last segment. I didn't know about these llamas.
Oh,
Wow.
well, I've got a
I
great
didn't even
producer.
know-
For those listening, her name's Danny. Thank you, Danny.
Danny is amazing. I didn't even know what a nanobody is. Do you know what a nanobody is?
I have a feeling you're going to tell me.
I am going to tell you. So everyone knows what an antibody is, right?
No one talks about the uncle bodies, though.
No one talks about the pro bodies. It's always the antibodies, the against bodies. You know what? If you get sick, you get a virus, your body produces cells to fight that virus. Those are called antibodies, anti-against the bodies of the virus. And then you're protected. You have these immune systems, this immune response. So you got a stronger immune system. There's these things I did not know about. They're so small. They are called nanobodies, like nanobots. And they are antibodies, but they are just really, really tiny. And apparently, animals within the camelid species, so llamas, alpacas, camels, what else? It's gotta
End
be
of
something
list?
else.
Yes.
End of list? Who knows? So those types, they produce antibodies that are a fraction the size of ours. And why does that matter? Well, the problem is there are a lot of diseases, especially neurological diseases, especially autoimmune diseases that affect the brain, different lupus type conditions, possibly multiple sclerosis. And our normal antibodies can't always break through the blood-brain barrier. They can't get
Ooh.
into the brain. The brain is so well protected that we even our own immune system sometimes can't get in there and help deal with these different neurological conditions. But nanobodies are small enough to sneak through the cracks of the blood-brain barrier. So what they're doing with these llamas, and these llamas are living in Belgium. They're living in Belgium. They're getting 3 square meals a day. They're living in these gorgeous barns and huge green grass. So it's very, very important in Belgium that they are treated like the kings and queens that they deserve to be treated. And they are basically injected with a virus or some sort of antigen, some sort of organism that, let's say, people get sick from. And they allow the immune system to fight it. And they've made sure that these llamas don't get sick from it. And then a couple of weeks later, they pull a blood sample and they're able to extract the nanobodies. And the thing about these nanobodies is not only are they then able to sort of manipulate them a little bit so that they can then be given to people and make people healthier and make people live longer and live better lives, but like little Lego pieces, they can be stacked together and turned into like a super antibody nanobody, a mega
God.
body. I just
This
made
is
that word.
cool.
It is really, really cool. I'm kind of like genetic manipulation is always got to worry about. But look, if your family member has some horrible progressive neurological condition and they're going to live longer from the use of these studies, all for it, right? The other thing that was interesting about this study, if this isn't enough already, is then it went on to say, again, because they're so worried about the way these animals are treated, they said, look, we're taking care of these llamas, and once they're done their duty, we have like a, air quotes, pension plan for them, a retirement plan for
A little
them.
llama retreat, a
A
little
little
llama
llama
retirement.
retreat,
Oh.
and they go on to do other jobs such as livestock protection. Llamas are very good at protecting livestock, sheep, cattle, what have you, maybe other llamas. They will fight off and they will spit at predators.
When I was a kid, I was at a petting zoo, and they were like, don't mess with the llama too much. What did I do? I messed with the llama too much. I was petting it too much. I was following it around. It didn't want to be pet. Who spat in my face? The llama. I learned that. That's a lesson you learn exactly once. You will never be spit on again. It was not fun. It hurt. The spit comes out with force, and it smells.
It comes out with force. We had a couple of llamas at the University of Guelph back in '98 when I was working large animal medicine right before graduating, and there was a pool going on about who was going to get hit next by this llama, and we sort of knew not to turn the corner without first checking to see what the llama's doing. But they have other jobs. Apparently, llamas are wildlife fire preventors,
Preventitizers. Preventativenites.
They prevent wildfires, David. So that sent me on another Google search. How do these guys prevent wildfires?
Do they eat the dry brush?
Oh, geez, you always break my story, David. What are you doing? Apparently that's what they do. They chew up dry brush. They chew up leaves. They probably could have been used in California during all those wildfires. And they attach GPS collars to them, and then they can track them and go, uh-oh, there's a lot of brush over in the south quadrant, Jimmy. We got to go help these llamas clear it because they're all hanging out there.
Oh, interesting. You can use llamas to track where it's too dry.
Exactly.
What can't llamas do? They spit in your face.
I don't know. This is actually absolutely fascinating. So, nanobodies, little tiny antibodies that go together like Lego, get into our brains and help prevent the zombie virus.
Our last study here we're going to cover quickly. I think intuitively we know that providing shelter dogs a foster home is good for them, and cats as well. But now there's a study that shows that even just a week in a foster home, if you're able to do it, will give that dog a much improved life. So here's just an argument for fostering pets that we already had many, but here's another one.
Yeah, and you could just foster them for 7 days and then return them to the shelter. Look, the shelter's a high-stress environment. A lot of dogs barking, a lot of dogs jumping around. They need attention, and their cortisol levels go up. Their hyperactivity and their inability to relax becomes an issue. And so, with these 7 days, they not only noticed through a urine sample that cortisol levels significantly dropped, and it was directly related to the length of time. So 2 weeks is better than 1 week, et cetera, et cetera. And they also sort of attached them to they put another GPS sort of tracker on them to see how much they calm down and they just chill out and relax. And that was improved. But the other fascinating story is not only are they more relaxed when they come back to the shelter, but if you put them back into a cage with a shelter mate, like a cellmate that they had before, and they now have, that reduced cortisol, that reduced stress extends for much longer. They stay quieter for much longer, and they get their shelter mate to be quieter as well.
Oh, wow. So it's not just good for them, it's good for the whole shelter.
It's good for at least the one that's sitting with them. So everybody needs a vacation every once in a while, David. That's basically what this is about. And 7 days seems to be the sweet spot that is enough. So for those people who foster dogs, you are also my new heroes. I love you guys. Thank you. And if you can't keep a dog for a long time, just keep one for a week. These studies out of Virginia Tech School of Animal Sciences prove it. Dr.
Cliff Redford, a veterinarian. Cliff, it has been a joy to have you on the show. Thanks for being here.
Thanks as always.
Your day starts right here.
The number one place to be in the morning.
We've got the news you need.
Take that Team Canada approach.
The experts you trust.
More exclusives than anywhere else.
And your first stop for the biggest entertainment stories.
The Morning Show, weekdays on Global.